The Man Who Stopped the Desert, the story of Yacouba Sawadogo, Chapter 1. The land of the great Sahel. Imagine, standing on a vast cracked plain stretching endlessly beneath a scorching sun, the Sahel, the fragile land between the Sahara Desert and the greener lands to the south. This band of earth runs from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Red Sea, home to millions of people whose lives depend on farming and livestock. But the land here is fighting a slow, silent war. The desert creeps forward a little every year, swallowing fields and forests, turning once fertile soil into barren dust. Winds sweep through, carrying choking dust storms, leaving the people hungry, desperate, and watching their homes disappear. In the heart of this harsh landscape is a small village in Burkina Faso called Gourga. Here, a man named Yacouba Sawadogo lives, a farmer with no formal schooling but a deep love for his land and a fierce determination to save it. He had watched his fields dry, crops fail, and neighbors leave in search of better lives. Yet Yacouba stayed, believing that the desert was not an unstoppable force, but a challenge that could be overcome. How did he do it? What did he discover hidden beneath the dusty soil that many had forgotten? This is the story of Yacouba Sawadogo, the man who stopped the desert. Chapter 2. Early life and the harsh reality. Born in the 1940s, Yacouba grew up in a world where survival was tied to the land. From childhood, he felt the weight of droughts, hunger, and poverty. His family, like many others, depended on subsistence farming, growing millet, sorghum, and maize, crops that struggled in the dry climate. The traditional farming methods involved slash and burn, clearing land by cutting down trees and burning them to enrich the soil with ash. But as populations grew, this method exhausted the soil quickly, forcing farmers to clear more forest, accelerating deforestation and desertification. Many young people abandoned the land, migrating to cities or neighboring countries. But Yacouba, grounded by love for his home, was determined to find another way. Though he had little formal education, Yacouba was a keen observer of nature. He watched the patterns of rainfall, the behavior of animals, and the cycles of the earth. He believed that the answers lay in working with nature, not against it. Chapter 3. The collapse of traditional farming. The slash-and-burn farming method had worked for centuries, but by the 1970s, the Sahel faced a crisis. Droughts struck hard, and often. The land could no longer recover between farming cycles. The desert advanced, covering once fertile land in dust. Villagers faced hunger as crops failed year after year. Water became scarce, and life grew harder with each passing season. The fragile ecosystem was breaking down. Yacouba saw his community suffer. But instead of despair, he felt a call to act. If the old ways no longer worked, he would find new ones. He set out to experiment and learn, even if others mocked him for it. Chapter 4. Rediscovering the Zai technique. One day, Yacouba remembered an old technique taught by elders but long abandoned. Zai. The method involved digging small holes in the hard soil during the dry season. These pits, about the size of a fist, would be filled with organic matter like manure and compost. The holes served several purposes. They collected rainwater, even small amounts, funneling moisture directly to the roots of plants. The compost nourished the soil, helping crops grow in areas where nothing else could. Yacouba began digging thousands of Zai holes on his land. He planted millet and sorghum in these pits, watching carefully. At first, neighbors laughed. "Why waste your time with holes?" they said. "It won't grow anything here." But Yacouba persisted. Chapter 5. The power of termites and microorganisms. As Yacouba experimented, he noticed something surprising. Termites were tunneling beneath the ground, breaking up the hard, compacted soil. These tunnels allowed water to seep deeper, improving soil aeration and root growth. Instead of fighting the termites, Yacouba welcomed them. He understood that these tiny creatures were nature's engineers, helping to restore balance. He also learned about the microbes in the soil. invisible armies of bacteria and fungi that recycled nutrients and helped plants absorb minerals. By enriching the soil with organic matter, Yacouba created an environment where these microbes thrived. This symbiosis of termites, microbes, and plants became the secret behind the Zai technique's success. Chapter 6. The first signs of life slowly. But surely green shoots appeared where the Zai holes had been dug. Millet stalks grew taller and stronger than Yacouba or his neighbors had seen in years. Trees, especially hardy species like acacias, began to sprout and flourish. These trees not only provided shade but improved soil fertility through their deep roots and fallen leaves. The land began to change. Where once was dust, now stood patches of green. The village watched in wonder as Yacouba's small farm transformed into a lush oasis amid the desert's advance. Chapter 7. Facing doubts and challenges. Yacouba's success was not without challenges. Many villagers doubted his methods, calling him stubborn or foolish. Local authorities and agricultural scientists initially ignored or dismissed him, preferring modern methods that relied on expensive fertilizers and machinery, unavailable to most farmers in the Sahel. Yacouba's work was solitary and at times discouraging, yet he remained undeterred, inviting others to learn and replicate the Zai holes on their own land. Slowly, more farmers began to see the results and adopt the technique. Chapter 8. The forest grows. Over the years, Yacouba's farm grew into a dense, thriving forest, a rare sight in the Sahel. The trees stabilized the soil, prevented erosion, and created a microclimate that retained moisture and cooled the air. Birds and small animals returned, restoring biodiversity. The once barren land breathed life again. Yacouba's model spread to villages across Burkina Faso and beyond. Thousands of hectares of land were restored, bringing food security and hope to many. Chapter 9. Global recognition. Yacouba's groundbreaking work attracted international attention. Environmentalists, scientists, and NGOs came to study and support his methods. In 2018, Yacouba was awarded the Right Livelihood Award, sometimes called the Alternative Nobel Prize, honoring his courage and innovation in fighting desertification. Today, his techniques are taught worldwide, especially in regions battling drought and land degradation. Yacouba Sawadogo's name is now synonymous with hope and resilience. Chapter 10. Lessons for the future. Yacouba's story is more than a tale of one man's fight against the desert. It is a powerful lesson about respecting nature, listening to ancient knowledge, and having faith in the power of small, patient actions. As the world faces climate change, food insecurity, and environmental crises, Yacouba's journey reminds us that solutions often lie close to home, in community, tradition, and harmony with the earth. His life challenges us. What can we do to heal our planet? How can we work with nature instead of against it? Thank you for joining this journey through the life of Yacouba Sawadogo, the man who stopped the desert. If his story inspired you, share it far and wide, because sometimes a single seed of hope can change the world and